Hi Virgo, welcome to your tarot reading. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. Either way, thank you so much for being here and thank you for sharing your energy with me. I do appreciate it. Be sure and follow and like on TikTok and YouTube for me so I can grow my collectives. And whatever message comes out today is what you need to hear. I've set that intention with Spirit today that we get just a general message. I will pull from the tarot and we'll get a traditional Celtic cross spread. That's the message that will come out. And then I brought out my Oracle deck here. We'll grab two of those at the end and kind of get some last minute messages or just kind of wrap everything up with those. So we have Temperance, the Emperor, Nine of Swords, the World, Six of Swords, Nine of Wands, Knight of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and the overall outcome is the Knight of Wands. Underneath we have the Hanged Man. So we also have the Lovers, and then the Two of Cups is here. So this could be some sort of soulmate connection, and that doesn't have to be love. It could be a family member or best friend. But with these two coming out here, usually I only grab the one off of the bottom, but that one's here. So this is probably something to do with a close partnership, or it could be a love relationship, marriage, soulmate energy. So I feel like we have the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is all about surrender, releasing control. And he's also about like seeing things from a different perspective, releasing control to the universe and seeing things for as they are, and letting the universe kind of take over and do their thing. That's also about like a lack of control, lack of direction. So we're going to get into, and this could have to do with some sort of union. This could have to do with self as well. Maybe this is your masculine and feminine energy. You're not feeling balanced. But with the Lovers and the Two of Cups being here, I feel like this has to do with you and another person. So the situation here is Temperance. Temperance is all about balance. It is about moderation. It's about alchemy. But the chalice is here with the water. This is about balance and, again, moderation, peace, calm, tranquility. And then the blockage here is the Emperor. So this is Aries energy. You could be dealing with an Aries. You could be an Aries. Again, this could be you blocking your like peace and harmony here and balance. I feel like this Emperor is very imbalanced. So the Emperor is about leadership and control. And it can be about maybe being too controlling, again, with the control here, or just feeling like you don't have control. There's no balance in moderation because you feel out of control and imbalanced for whatever reason. And it's causing a lot of anxiety. So the Nine of Swords it's all in, not that it's all in your head. I don't mean it that way. The swords are air energy, which is your thoughts. So this is like very in your head, very anxious, very depressed, sleepless nights. But this is, you're causing this kind of like despair. And this is like maybe a breaking point type of energy. So the recent past, we have the World, which is a completion, like a completion of a cycle. So this could be a completion of a soulmate connection. This could just be some sort of cycle that you've completed in controlling a situation or feeling imbalanced. Maybe this is you needing to close out a cycle of living the way that you have been. If you've been in an imbalanced energy with someone else or just with self, it's time to end that cycle. So this is like a completion or some sort of like fulfillment here. It's about being whole and achieving a completion in something and then feeling fulfilled. So I feel like that's the World card is telling you that it's time to complete this cycle. So your subconscious or your higher self, we have the Six of Swords, and this is about transition, change, but it's also moving to calmer waters. This is like your higher self. You know that it's time to move on from a situation. You know that it's time to, you could be physically leaving because they are in a boat, like physically leaving from here and going to the other side of the water here. But it doesn't have to be. This could just be, again, with swords, it is mental. Maybe you're just mentally moving on from a situation but it is moving on. And whether you have done that yet or not, your higher self is telling you that it's time to move on. And when your higher self tells you that, it's an internal, you know that it's time to move on. Sometimes it's just very hard and difficult to do. So in the near future, we have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is about persevering. It's about pushing through. So you do have two nines here, with the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. So I feel like you're at the very end of this, because obviously right after the 9 comes the 10, and that's the completion of it. So I feel like this is just you kind of pushing through and getting through that last little bit of whatever this burden was that you were carrying. So they call him the wounded warrior. He has like this bandage on his head here because he's been through a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges. But it's also about you having the ability to overcome them. So the Nine of Wands has that ability. He is, pushing through and near success here. And I feel like Spirit is telling you to follow your heart. So the Knight of Cups is all about, it's very heart-centered. Cups are about your emotions. He is like the Prince Charming card, very artistic, charming, but it's also about your intuition. So again, with emotions, Cups, it's about your intuition. But the Knight of Cups is all about following your heart and following your intuition. And I feel like that's what Spirit is telling you here. If your higher self is telling you that it's time to move on from a situation because it's imbalanced and it's no longer serving you, then, Spirit is telling you to follow your heart and your intuition and go where you know you need to go. This clearly isn't a good situation. If it's causing you anxiety and sleepless nights, it's not a good situation for you to be in. In your immediate environment, the influence here is the 8 of Pentacles. So I feel like you're putting in the work, like whether that's towards healing or, if you're in a relationship, if you are, if this is a work situation that you're pouring all this work into and it's causing you anxiety, whatever it is that you're pouring into, this is just about him like mastering this. So he's got this one pentacle here in front of him and he is just working on that pentacle and mastering that skill. Very committed, very dedicated to that pentacle. So you are very dedicated and very committed to whatever this is, to mastering this. But again, if it's a relationship, then it's time to move on. And maybe you're thinking, I've put all of this work into this relationship, but if it's not being fruitful or it's not balanced, and again, causing you these sleepless nights, it's not worth putting this work into. You've got to cut it off and move on. So your hopes and fears, we have the 2 of Cups. So the 2 of Cups, again, is about union. It's about partnership. This can be union with self, union with spirit. If you are calling in a love relationship, then this is what you're hoping for. But this has something to do with partnerships, balance, harmony. Again, the 2s are about balance. So maybe you are hoping for balance in a situation, whether that's with self or another person. This is, the 2s are all about balancing things out. And it's all about, maybe you're taking on a business partner. Maybe you're hoping for, a partner in love, partner in business, whatever it is that you're calling in here, whatever you're hoping for here. And it's all about like unity and joining forces and working together towards a goal. So the overall outcome, we have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is that fiery, passionate energy. It is the Sagittarius card. So you could be dealing with Sagittarius or you could have Sagittarius in your chart. But it's just about being courageous and free-spirited and like having that confidence. So I feel like, once you kind of persevere through this and you follow your heart, this is about you following your passions and following your having that confidence and going after what it is that you are passionate about. So let's see. What do they not see coming? What does Virgo not see coming here, Spirit? Does Virgo not see coming, Spirit? Awesome. So there's definitely rest needed and meditation needed. This is about kind of maybe going within. It's, minor arcana like the Hermit card. So the Hermit is all about going within, solitude, searching for a purpose. This is about rest and recovery and healing. And then you have the Three of Swords, which is about healing as well, healing from loss, heartbreak. And then you have the Ace of Cups, which is about emotional fulfillment, and it is about like filling your own cup. So I feel like you need to rest and maybe meditate and kind of heal from whatever situation this was and fill your own cup. Realize what emotional fulfillment is for you, because you're being handed this new um, Ace of Cups, which is a new opportunity for emotional fulfillment. So maybe this was a situation that where you were trying to control too much, and it was a previous relationship was maybe too controlling, or it was very imbalanced. So you're calling in, this healthy relationship. And in order to do that, you need to heal your heart. Because if you're going into another new beginning, you want to heal from whatever this heartbreak, this loss was that you have in the past, if you're moving on from a situation. But it's also about filling your own cup. You can't always expect somebody else to fill your cup. So I feel like this is just telling you to focus on whatever it is that makes your heart happy and fill your own cup. But there's definitely healing that's going to need to happen here in the near future, because the Four of Swords and that Three of Swords are all about rest and healing and recovery after, you've gone through this Nine of Wands and this Nine of Swords. That's not an easy energy to go through. And you're going to need to recover in order to open your heart again. Because the Ace of Cups is also about like opening your heart. And in order to do that, you need to heal it. Let's see. What is the actions and advice for Virgos? Okay, so focus on clarity and use your discernment here when you're planning, like take these next steps towards overcoming these obstacles. You're going to need to use your discernment and get some clarity here. And I feel like that's where that rest and healing are going to come into place, because when you heal that, you're going to come from a clear place, a clear head space, clear heart space, and then you'll be able to open your heart, not in a better way. Like, it's because if you use your discernment and you kind of take the next steps towards overcoming obstacles and overcoming challenges, that's when you're able to open your heart and use your intuition in order to accept the right people and the right circumstances into your life. But it's going to take discernment and clarity here. And I feel like that's, you're definitely you're capable of doing that. So let's grab you a couple oracle cards here. Yeah, if you move from one difficult situation into another, especially without any healing, you're just taking that old mindset, that old heartache into whatever the new situation is. Whether this is just a new cycle in your life or, a new relationship that you're going into, you never want to take that old energy with you. You always want to heal that and, be able to come from a place of love and open your heart space to something new. So we have clean it up. That Nine of Swords, clean up your mindset. And then we have peace. Yeah, so I definitely feel like there's some peace coming in here after these tough cycles that you're going through. So clean it up is number 21, in case that resonates for you. I always like to call it the numbers. Sometimes people look for synchronicities and signs, and I know it helps. So clean it up. Getting to the core of a situation. Freedom from a burden. Cleaning house. Sweeping away what is no longer needed. Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home? Also, too much work? Overwhelmed? It's time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you, Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. Yeah, so clean that heart space. Do some healing. Get out of your head. And that way you can open your heart to something new. If you're calling in a new relationship, a new union, then you need to clean up your heart space and you need to heal from past heartbreak. So peace was number 23. Freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. It doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, a heart fulfilled, freedom from want, and the soul's satisfaction. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. Harmony is beautiful. Enjoy it. Yes, definitely. If you're going through these tough cycles, once you come out on the other side of that, you had this world card here, which is completing a cycle. So you're definitely coming to the end of this cycle of carrying these burdens and this heartache, whatever it is. Just go within and kind of, meditate, rest, take care of yourself, have that self-love and fill your cup so that you can call in this divine union that you're wanting. So I love this energy for you. It's never easy to heal, but it's very important to do so. So I wish you the best, Virgo, and I will see you next week. Bye.